Hi, welcome to Boredom Busters. My name is Priscilla White. I'm a director here at Lift Brigade, and I'm also Lance's mom. My son Lance started Lift Brigade via his Make-A-Wish when he was fighting cancer. He wanted to do something to help other kids get through treatment. He knows firsthand being in the hospital can get kind of boring, so we wanted to think of something fun for y'all to do that's a creative outlet we hope you enjoy.
Welcome to Boredom Busters. I'm Stevie, an associate director at Lift Brigade, and today we're going to be making quicksand and chalk paint.
Welcome to Boredom Busters. Today we're making quicksand and then chalk paint. So this kit is a 2-in-1 project. So in our craft supply kit we have a cup and a sponge brush. We have cornstarch and water with some food coloring in it, and a black piece of paper. Oh, and a popsicle stick for stirring. So you want to set your paper aside because that's for part 2, and you want to make sure it doesn't get wet while you're making your quicksand. So quicksand is one of those things when you make it that is a solid and a liquid, and we'll show you what we mean when we make it. And it's just fun to play with, kind of like slime. And when you're done playing with it, you add more water and you can make chalk paint. Okay? So step 1 to make quicksand is to remove all the contents. So you can lay your bag underneath your work area, maybe flip it over so the label's on the bottom, and seal the top a little bit so there's no sticky, just so you don't get messed up everywhere. If you have a towel would be even better. Okay? Alright, so you're going to pour most, but not all, of the cornstarch into the empty cup. So you can use your popsicle stick to kind of gently pour it in so you don't just dump it all at one time. Be careful. If you need a grown-up's help with this part, please ask for help. And it's not about being perfect, but you do want to reserve some in case your quicksand needs a little more, okay? Based on the water you put in. So now you've got your cornstarch in your cup. So the next step is to add no more than half of the colored water. And you want to add slowly. So maybe 1/4 of the water and stir, and then another 1/4 of the water and stir. So just a little bit at a time and stir, stir, stir. And it feels like it's never going to come together until it magically does. So when you get to a point you can't stir anymore, just pour a little more water in, and there's food coloring in the water just to make it a little more fun. But you can use just plain water. Some kits might have plain water in them, and that's okay. So Stevie, our model, is just stirring as best she can till all the liquid gets absorbed. And once it can't be absorbed anymore, it looks like it's getting pretty close to being quicksand. So I'm going to zoom in here on the cup and show you what I mean. Okay, can you hold the cup right here, like a little forward? There you go. So see how when she stirs, it liquid for a second and then it turns solid again? It's kind of neat. So you can at this point feel with your fingers and see if you're able to take it out and see how it's liquidy. But then it turns back to a solid. If you push your finger down hard, it feels solid. But if you put your finger in slowly, it sinks down in there, and when you pull it up, it's liquidy. Isn't that cool? So this is the consistency of quicksand that you want. And it dries on your fingers, and it's just kind of fun to play with. So you can even scoop it out and put it in your hand and play with it if you want. You can pour it out onto your work surface if you want. Or if you're ready to go to the second step, you can make chalk paint next. Okay, so Stevie, are you ready to make chalk paint? All right, Stevie's ready. Her and her cornstarchy blue fingers. All right, so to make your chalk paint, when you're done playing with your quicksand, add the remaining cornstarch and the remaining water and mix them together. And again, if you want to reserve a little water to make sure it doesn't get too liquidy, because you want a little bit of thickness to your chalk paint so it dries kind of gloppy, so it shows up really well on the paper. But if it's still too hard to stir, you have to kind of take your time and be careful stirring to get all the water absorbed. So it takes a little minute. See how Stevie's taking her time there? And the more she stirs, the easier it gets to stir. And remember, you're going to use a foam brush to dip it in. So if it's too hard for a foam brush to pick it up, you might need a little more water. Oh, there we go. So it stirs easily, but there's still some consistency to it, so that's looking good. Just make sure you scrape the bottom really well with your popsicle stick to make sure it's really, really mixed. All right. So now comes the hard part. You have to think about, what do you want to paint on your paper? So you can paint your initial, you can draw a flower, you can write your name, it's up to you. You can draw sunshine, a big heart, and you kind of want to just dab it on, like Stevie's doing here. Not too thick because it'll be too wet for the paper, but thick enough that when it dries, that bright color is going to show up. I wonder what Stevie's going to draw. So when Stevie was little, we used to draw on our driveway with chalk paint. And it was a lot of fun. It's a good summer day activity for sure. Oh, I see a smiley face. So Stevie drew a smiley face. So then you just let your chalk paint dry, and it'll dry chalky like you really drew it on with chalk. We hope you enjoyed this. Have fun creating. Dell Children's patient and founder Lance White and his family live locally and run Lift Brigade as volunteers to help children get through treatment. Share the fun. Like us, tag us, follow us on social media, share your pictures with us, check out our website, and reach out to us via email. We'd love to hear your story. We need your feedback and donations to help keep these programs going. Thanks in advance for your help.